In 106 M42, a battalion of Chaos Space Marines from the Night Lord's Traitor Legion rained destruction on Hive City, Bilas. In retaliation for invasion of their home world, Chapter Master Darren released the Fury of the Steel Talons 2nd Company, under the command of Company Captain Maximus, Lieutenant Alico, and Lieutenant Tiberius, to defend their home. First contact was struck in the Upper Hive ruins when Sergeant Pompey, of the 1st Battle Line Squad, identified 2 Helldrakes breathing death on civilians. Captain, tracking 2 Helldrakes, bearing 54, elevation 500 feet. Pompey reports to the command staff while drawing his auto bolt rifle. Leading his squad of Primaris Marines, the Battle Brothers leap from their cover to meet the traitor legions. Captain Maximus stands, holding his helm in his right bionic hand. Replacing what used to be an eye, a faint clicking sound can be heard from his right optic, as it radiates burning, white light. "Roger, Sergeant." Looking up to Lieutenant Tiberius. "Pass this to Battle Brother Voldrick. He will know what to do." Turning towards Lieutenant Alico. "Come, it's time to purge these traitors." "Spargo, come in," Lieutenant Alico called out on the Vox comms. "Your orders, sir." 2 aerial targets, 54, 500. The turret on top of the repulsor executioner, named Sparko, rotated to the called instructions and unleashed volleys of laser fire to pierce the night sky. Mid-flight, the Helldrakes took direct hits to their mechanical bodies. Exploding, ripping through the flesh of steel. Avoiding the overwhelming assault, the monsters now turn, fleeing east, unbeknownst to them, into a trap. "They are headed your way, brother," Alico warns Tiberius. "May the Emperor protect you." In the far eastern flank, Lieutenant Tiberius and a Redemptor dreadnought, decorated in the chapter's colors of gray and red and draped in battle honors, hunker into a temple ruin for concealment. A cherub follows closely behind the dreadnought on its tiny wings, carrying a banner reading, Voldrick. In the remains of the place of worship, stained glasses containing holy images lay shattered on the floor, while servo skulls continue emitting whispers of worship.
"Be ready, brother. Once we fire, our positions will most likely be swarmed."
A deep, mechanical voice breaks the eerie silence from its speaker. "For the Emperor," Tiberius proclaims, making ready his weapon. 20 minutes pass before a pair of shrieks break through the cold, dead air. Gravely wounded, the Helldrakes emerge into view. Brother Voldrick aims his robotic arms, equipped with onslaught cannons. Gears rotate, lifting the weapons through an opening in the walls. Abruptly, the shrieks turn to screams as the 2 demon engines erupted into balls of fire, crashing into the distant skyline. Empty shells fall to the feet of Brother Voldrick while recounting a prayer to the machine spirit of his massive weapons. Thunderous explosions of drop pod landings break the silence. Landings of Chaos Marines litter the area surrounding the ruins and the Battle Brothers.
"Here they come!"
exclaimed Lieutenant Tiberius. Night Lord's reinforcements have pushed the center flank back on its heels. A champion of Chaos has led a horde of Chaos Space Marines.
"Go! Find it!"
demanded the Chaos Lord. Bolter rounds thicken the air with soot and smoke. "Fall back! The position won't hold!" shouts the sergeant of 2nd Battle Squad. In a fighting retreat, the Marines move from position as the enemy advances on them. Watching from afar through a visor slit of his repulsor executioner, Sparko orders a command to his fellow Marines inside the war tank. "We must cover their retreat." Reaching for the comms device. "Nexen, come in," says Sparko, calling to a Predator tank 30 meters to his left. "Cover us." With a roar of engines, Sparko races towards the Marines falling back for cover. Over debris and craters, Sparko arrives to shield the second squad with its armor. Rotating all his weapons towards the advancing heretics, a volley from the heavy stubbers opened fire, followed by a barrage from grenade launchers. Upon the smoke clearing, the Chaos Marines smashed claws and chain blades into Sparko's side plating. Overran, but not halted, Sparko continues shooting without pause. Now distracted by the overwhelming force, a Chaos Lord advanced unimpeded, armed with dual lightning claws and eyeing the swarmed vehicle. Avoiding sight, the Lord ran around the side of Sparko and began to tear into the tank. Looking on from their new positions, the second battle squad is now without reinforcements, minimal cover, and, if Sparko falls, they would be the last to hold the center objectives. Sergeant Lars gathers the remaining Marines and ammo in preparation for one last stand as smoke billows from Sparko. Suddenly, a silhouette emerges from the shadows. "Greetings from the western flank," whispers the shadow. "Lieutenant!" exclaimed Sergeant Lars, standing to give respect. "I see we have a situation," taking up his rifle and opening fire at targets on top of Sparko. "Provide what supporting fire you can, Sergeant. I will deal with the heretics." Drawing his power sword, Lieutenant Aliko leaps over the disintegrating cover and charges into the skirmish with his fellow brothers firing bolter rounds over his shoulder. Mocks the Chaos Lord as he peels back the remaining armor plating, exposing Sparko's crew inside. "You will die like trapped rats." A split second later, a follower of Chaos falls to the ground motionless. As shots can be heard from behind, more of the Chaos Lord's Marines start to collect around his feet. Running towards the Night Lord, Lieutenant Aliko wields his power sword held high. Weapons clash of light and dark. Swinging his sword with all his might while looking for an opening, the Night Lord's champion, with millennia of experience in the Long War, parried every move. "Your ignorance and belief in that dead Emperor is your demise," scolds the champion of Chaos, pulling his power sword away and lunging inward for a strike, only to be countered at every move. As if the powers of Khorne himself flowed through its champion, the Chaos Lord reached out with its lightning claw just as Lieutenant Aliko swung down in exhaustion, catching the sword with its demon claws, snapping the sword into pieces, and with the other claw, stabbing the young lieutenant through his abdomen. The Chaos Lord pulled off his demonic winged helm to look deep into his prey's eyes, lifting the mangled space marine off the ground. "You're worthless. Pathetic. And don't worry," mocks the Chaos Lord. "Your brothers will be joining you soon." Blood gurgling from Lieutenant Aliko's mouth, a small smile appears across his face. "Greetings from the western flank," looking past the Night Lord. Turning, the Chaos Lord's eyes widen as a las cannon beam engulfs them both from point-blank range. Predator tank Nexen had moved forward during the engagement. "Sir, we got him, and the enemy is falling back." "Great shot," sputters Lieutenant Aliko, drawing his last breath.